Hi, thanks for being here. It's Thursday. It's also the 25th day of April, and it is going to be another evening with some potential showers, the likes of which we've, for the most part, escaped over the past day or so. Sooner or later, tomorrow, that's going to change. We're going to catch up to showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. We'll outline your latest forecast in just a few moments. We'll talk about, even though there were some injuries last night, a miraculous situation as a couple of young people on an ATV, a four-wheeler, were struck by a vehicle in McGoffin County, and no one was seriously injured with any life-threatening injuries, as far as I know. Also, we'll talk about the Mountain Parkway, and we have known now since talks began of the expansion project that they wanted to take it, of course, from eventually all the way from Sagersville after it's completed to that point on to Prestonsburg to make essentially a four-lane all the way to Pikeville and the state line. Well, now there's a third proposal in addition to the two routes that would take it from Sagersville to Prestonsburg, and this one makes a hard left turn here in Sagersville. I've got a few bits of information I can pass along on that. Scores, they did get games in last night, that being the Hornets. Might get one in tonight. We'll talk about that. I've got a camera at the Veterans Round Table, which started at 5:30. I hope to maybe get out as well to catch a bit of the Lady Hornets game tonight that I'll tell you more about in just a few moments, and much, much more. We've got a few things to talk about from elsewhere before we get to our local headlines. The first, how Governor Matt Bevin has doubled down, maybe tripled down, on Kentucky teachers, pouring more salt on open political wounds with those educators across the Commonwealth. He did so today when he essentially seemed to be blaming sick outs in many different Kentucky school districts, particularly one for the shooting of a 7-year-old girl that took place. He made these remarks this morning before the Louisville Rotary Club. He was asked a question about what can be done to stem gun violence, and a portion of his comment was, quote, "One thing you almost didn't hear anything about while we had people pretending to be sick when they weren't sick and leaving kids unattended to or in situations that they should not have been in. A little girl was shot, 7 years old, by another kid," he said. He also added that because they were somewhere that they weren't intended, and because a parent didn't have any option, put them in a situation so that they could go to work. It left these kids in a compromised situation where they encountered a gun and there was not enough awareness. So this reference appears to be, and most certainly is, to a shooting that took place around the middle of March in Shively. A little 7-year-old girl was shot, not fatally, by her younger, or rather a little older brother who was about 10 or 11 inside their home while they were under the care of a guardian, another relative, not their parent, but who was outside the residence. Now, there was a press release from the Shively Police Department back towards the latter part of March. It said that the boy accidentally shot his sister. She was taken to an area hospital for surgery and was listed in good condition. We're glad to report. No confirmation as of right now, but the governor seeming to allude that the parent of that child was a teacher at the Jefferson County Public School System and involved in that teacher sick out when that shooting happened. Jefferson County was one of the school districts, of course, that was out for several days for the sick out as teachers were protesting at our state's capital. On a related note, before that report surfaced this morning and before he made those remarks, he made a dubious list. Governor Matt Bevin, his popularity level continues to sink, and he's now ranked by at least one polling agency, so to speak, Morning Consult, as the worst, if not one of the least, or rather I should say popular, not worst, governors, not just in Kentucky, but the entire country, per their latest polling, which has taken place. And those numbers released once again earlier today, but based on prior statistics taken before his remarks this morning. It was a big day in Bowling Green. Sure would have liked to have been there for that, because that's the home of the Corvette, and they're going to be upping the ante. Of course, the new Corvette's getting ready to come out, a mid-engine model. I'll not share my sentiments about that, but nevertheless, there were officials there, along with the chairman and CEO Mary Barra of General Motors, who was joined by a host of officials in announcing and welcoming the company's plans to they're adding a second shift and more than 400 new employees at the Bowling Green assembly plant in preparation to build the next generation Chevy Corvette next year, later this year, and next year's model will be a mid-engine Corvette that will forever change the history, in my opinion. But nevertheless, it's 400 jobs, and actually, I think some of those jobs, I'm told by some folks close to the plant, a lot of those jobs coming from the Ohio plant, which was closed recently. I'm also told they might be manufacturing another vehicle, another sports car, maybe under the Cadillac brand, at that plant at a later date. Those 400 employees that are going to be added to the Bowling Green plant will up their total employment to around 1,250 to 1,300. Going back for the past 7 years, General Motors has invested almost $1 billion in making upgrades to the Bowling Green plant. A new body shop, increased engine building capacity, a new paint shop, and the addition of their performance build center. They've been building the Corvette in the Bowling Green plant since 1981. Can you believe that? The plant includes the largest solar array of any automaker in Kentucky. Its economic impact annually exceeds $76 million in state wages, $15 million in income taxes. The Corvette is the world's longest running, continually produced passenger car, more than 1.6 million produced since it first rolled off the assembly line back in 1954. Closer to home, the Special Olympics Kentucky Area Track and Field Meet is going to be held this Saturday at Johnson Central High School. The area meet includes nearly 150 athletes from a 23-county area and covers much of eastern Kentucky, stretching from Maysville all the way to Pikeville. The event gets underway with opening ceremonies, including a parade of athletes at 9:15 this Saturday morning. Competition will begin promptly thereafter at 9:45. This is the second of 3 weekends of the Special Olympics Area Track and Field season, which includes a May 11th event in Louisville, and part of one of the busiest non-summer games track weekends in Special Olympics Kentucky history. More than 1,000 athletes will be in action at 6 track meets with a swim meet on Saturday. That is super, super cool. I'm going to go ahead and pause just for a second. Be sure to let these folks know you're watching every chance you get. I'll be right back with local headlines. To maximize your savings, make the new digital coupon kiosk your first stop at the new IGA.
Hey Salyersville, whether you're a paper couponer or a digital couponer, we've got ways to save you money here at Salyersville IGA. After you've registered your name and phone number, the available coupons will come up on the screen, such as save $1 off IGA gallon milk, or save $1 off Kingsford charcoal, or save $2 off Tide Pods. So once you've clipped the coupons that you want, you can see which coupons are available in your digital wallet. You can sign out, and then you're ready to shop. It only takes a few seconds to sign up, and our friendly staff is always happy to help. So remember to click Shop and Save at Salyersville IGA.
The seasonal shop is simply wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling, filled with new arrivals and more coming every day. Natural Life is in the store. It's a fun, uplifting brand of t-shirts, headbands, air fresheners, mugs, and more. And they've always got the latest and greatest designs from Simply Southern, including their new line of drinkware for hot or cold. And the women's spring and summer collections are simply amazing and ready to get you ready for the beautiful weather, head to toe. And come in and check out their rewards program. Free local delivery. They'll ship it to you. They're now accepting PayPal, and they've always got baby and wedding registry at Fraser Spray to Drug Seasonal Shop in downtown Salyersville. At Parkway Gun and Pawn, out the door means taxes and a box of shells are included, and all these specials are out the door prices. So you can pick from these Heritage Arms 22 revolvers, $149 out the door, or this one for $139. This Judge shoots 45 long Colts and 4 10 shells, and it's out the door for $449. 9mm semi-automatics as low as $219, all just in and soon to be gone at Parkway Gun and Pawn.
Appalachian Wireless has a question for you. Would you rather pay $650 or $66 for a smartphone? If you think this answer is simple, then the Appalachian Advantage plan is for you. Pay less upfront for today's hottest smartphones, and then pay just a few dollars more every month on the monthly bill. Many smartphones are $5 a month or less after you factor in the $20 discount from the Advantage plan compared to the contract offering. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Payment agreement required. See store for details.
If you've driven down the road, watched TV, or listened to the radio, you've seen or heard the ads for the sign and settle law firms. When I hear of someone settling their case for pennies on the dollar with these firms, it chills my soul. If you've been injured, it's all about the money. I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. I represent injured people who deserve all the money they can get. Call me at my Salyersville office at 349-4522, West Liberty at 743-1965.
At Sayersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sayersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sayersville National. Late last night, I believe, as I was on the couch, around 11 o'clock or so, maybe just a short time before 11 o'clock, perhaps closer to 10:30. Nevertheless, vehicle versus ATV accident. The initial call coming into 911 was that there was a female lying in the roadway. Authorities and EMS responded and promptly found that a vehicle had struck a four-wheeler from behind, a four-wheeler waiting on traffic to exit Dotson Branch, if you will, and was hit from the rear on a dark Route 1888. Truly miraculous. Now, that is not to say that there weren't some injuries. I believe the majority of those involved were juveniles. There were two young people on the ATV. There was also a young person in the passenger car. And I think all three were ultimately taken to the hospital. The female driver of the passenger car, I believe, and the young person with her went personal vehicle to the hospital for possible broken bone for the young man. The two younger people on the ATV also both went to the hospital. The female passenger was packaged on scene by the Montgomery County Rescue Squad and taken by ambulance, and I believe the male operator also rode in that ambulance with her also to be checked out. They did suffer some injuries. I'm not making light of the situation, but I'm just trying to express how indeed as much of a miracle this was, because you can see the damage done to the vehicle as well as the ATV, a rear-end collision, and all lived and may have suffered no more than some broken bones. For a couple, maybe not even that much. I don't have an official update on their condition, but just glad to report that it appeared as though there weren't any life-threatening injuries sustained as a part of this two-vehicle collision. It happened, according to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, as the ATV, the four-wheeler, was sitting on Burning Fork waiting for traffic to exit Greenhouse Hollow or Dotson Branch, and without any lights on the ATV, says the Sheriff's Department. According to statements from eyewitnesses and the driver of the car came upon the vehicle and was unable to stop before the collision. Going on to the Mountain Parkway expansion project, since the beginning of the planning phases even of the Mountain Parkway project, the plan has always been, as was presented to us, to be geared toward expanding 46 miles of the Eastern Kentucky roadways, closing the only gap in a 400-mile, four-lane, high-speed corridor for commerce and mobility across Kentucky, essentially from Pikeville to Paducah. The project set to widen some 30 miles of existing parkway to 4 lanes and extend the parkway by about 16 miles between Sayersville and Prestonsburg. That's kind of the final phase that we've been told. And there are now concerns, though, that are growing and a little more murmur being heard, and some officials also tagging their names to some comments, that instead of expanding that parkway project to Prestonsburg from Sayersville via 114, the 4-lane might now take a hard left and instead go to Paintsville via US 460. The only question that was thought to have existed at this point was to whether or not the Mountain Parkway expansion project would continue on along 114 and widen 114 from Sayersville to Prestonsburg, or if the state would elect to go cross-country, over the hills and through the woods, so to speak, on a slightly more expensive but possibly more feasible route. Those are two options presented during several public meetings over the course of the several years. But recently, officials have now told us here at Mortimer Media Group that there has been a push on some level for the Mountain Parkway to take a left turn and be expanded to Johnson County, noting that since US 460 is a federal road, it's possible more funding could be available, though nothing is set in stone at this time, and we're not sure how big of a push there is. But since the project's inception, there have been those two options for the most eastern part of the project, with either 114 being widened to a 4-lane or the parkway, like I said, expanding via that ridge line to Prestonsburg. There's not any money appropriated for that segment of the project in either form or fashion, and no property buyouts for either plan have taken place, and that portion of the project has kind of been in limbo now for several years. But in a recent Floyd County Fiscal Court meeting, officials reported that there is now a third proposal on the table for an eastern extension of the parkway to widen US 460 towards Paintsville. Press releases on the Mountain Parkway expansion, as well as the project's website, all still reference the plan to expand the parkway from Sayersville to Prestonsburg, though Floyd County officials are starting to express some growing concerns. The Floyd County Chronicle reported this week that Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams had stated in that fiscal court meeting that the county had received information on the third option from a pretty reliable source, as he put it, but said the county is going to push back as much as possible. With that portion of the project not in the current state highway plan, it remains completely up in the air. The State Transportation Cabinet is currently working on the state highway plan, which will be presented to the Kentucky legislature in January of 2020 for approval and funding. I'm going to pause. When we come back, calendar announcements. A very special birthday I want to pass along down towards Nashville way, and games last night, and maybe one tonight that I do believe they'll get underway. Your weather forecast too. Stay tuned.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sayersville. 349-8785. 7.4 million children, many under the age of 1, are abused in the United States every year. 5 die unnecessarily every day. In Kentucky, there was a known 85,000 reports of child abuse just last year. Neglect is the most common form, drug and alcohol use by an adult the biggest factor. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month to remind us all to make a difference all the time by offering support, mentoring, and most importantly, recognizing and reporting child abuse. This message brought to you by the pediatric physicians. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. Whether it's for a little pre-vacation tan, or to look and feel better, or just to come and relax for a few minutes, get your perfect shade on at Tropical Isle Tanning with the very best in modern tanning. They've got 6 beds, including their fabulous 7-minute stand-up bed and their 12-minute super bed with bronzing bulbs. Or get a perfect sunless glow with Versa Spa spray tans, which are 20% off all the month of April. At Tropical Isle Tanning in Sayersville and Prestonsburg, open 7 days a week. Just like that, we've jumped into the spring allergy season with all the buds and blooms, tree and grass pollen, mold, and all the nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy nose and eyes and throat that they cause. Don't get caught off guard. Protect yourself daily with a quick trip to Parkway Pharmacy for over-the-counter and prescription relief. And you can always log into parkwaypharmacy.com to have your prescriptions ready when you get there. At Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville. Visit their butcher block and find fresh cut meat daily and other specials like 80% lean ground beef, just $2.49 a pound this week. Bone-in chicken breast, just $1.39 a pound. 2 bags of Doritos, just $5, and 2 loaves of Sara Lee wheat bread, $5. Make it a movie night with popcorn, just 99 cents a box, and delicious Red Delicious apples, 3-pound bags for just $1.99. Price is good through Tuesday, April the 30th, only at your Sayersville Save-A-Lot. All right, here's a very special community calendar special. They're all special. More so tonight because of a birthday wish we want to send Nashville way. Definitely the happiest of birthdays for Trixie Lynn, as her handle is on Facebook. Rebecca Lynn Howard. I'm told possibly celebrating the big 4-0 today, and if I'm wrong about that, I am in deep trouble. And if I'm right about that, I am probably in deep trouble for putting it out there. But to the, of course, the far left here of the picture with the rest of the band Loving Mary, we wish to wish one of our most beloved friends and entertainers the happiest of birthdays. We'll call it the 39th, just to be sure. Happy birthday, Miss Rebecca Lynn Howard. Moving on to the rest of the McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, the 4-H Shooting Sports Group is having a rifle shoot this Saturday. This is a free event at 6 o'clock at the McGoffin County Extension Service. I believe this is for kids ages 9 to 18, if I'm not mistaken. To find out more details, call the Extension Service at 349-1236. And don't forget, the McGoffin County Cleanup Campaign has been set for the month of May. They're going to start in District 3 on Monday, May the 6th. Then District 2 is the following week. District 1 is the following week thereafter. No construction waste or hazardous materials, but any other large garbage that you can't set out, or that you can set out but you just want to get rid of on this particular occasion, you can put out by the curb and the county will take that off for you. And the judge's office's phone number is 349-2313 if you have any questions at all. So tomorrow is going to be the next Kentucky Chautauqua Series here in McGoffin County. The event is free. It's hosted by the McGoffin County Health Department and the Kentucky Humanities Council, and we'll have a young lady depicting Jean Ritchie, a damsel with a dulcimer, one of the most influential Appalachian artists ever. That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, free. Donations greatly appreciated to help keep these events going, but nevertheless, tomorrow night at the McGoffin County Health Department. Saturday, the last time I'm going to remind you, I think, the Spring Open Bass Tournament hosted by North McGoffin Fire Department, 8 to 4 o'clock on Paintsville Lake, $1,000 for first place, other big cash prizes. If you're not already planning on going, you're probably not going to go, but it's a great cause, a great event, a 5-fish limit. They hope to see you there. If you have any questions, 349-7777. And don't forget about the rockin' and barkin' good time, a wonderful musical evening at the Paintsville Country Club Saturday night, hosted a fundraiser, of course, for as well by Whiskers or Wags, the Johnson County Animal Shelter. They'd love to have you there. You'd love to be there because it's going to be a great time, great food, great entertainment, and once again, a great cause, raising money, much needed money for the Johnson County Animal Shelter. 6 to 9 at the Paintsville Country Club. Those are the numbers you can call. And I'd love to have your calendar announcement, birthdays and anniversaries too, so just send them to me and we'll tell everyone about them. Going on to nightly funeral service arrangements and announcements brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. 63-year-old Edna Gay Nichols Miller of Central Avenue passed away yesterday, the daughter of Hobart Nichols and the late Anna Linton Nichols. She's survived by her father and a son, Virgil Dean Miller, and daughters Peggy Miller, Brenda Allen, and Wanda Miller. Visitation is going to be after 6 o'clock tomorrow, all day Saturday, and prior to Sunday's services. They'll start at 1 o'clock. Services will be held at the Swampton United Baptist Church with burial at the Gibson Cemetery on Gibson Hollow. The McGoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Well, I was a little skeptical when I saw you at 6 last night as to whether or not the games would go on. They indeed, and the Lady Hornets and the Hornets have another round to add to their schedule. A loss for the boys, a win for the Lady Hornets, the latter of which looking to host Paintsville tonight and even things up here at home. The Lady Hornets did get their game in at East Ridge last night. I was a little skeptical when I was talking to you at 6, given the forecast, but we fared pretty well, as did the East Ridge area, as I think we'll probably do for tonight's game. I'll get to that in just a second. So last night, the Lady Hornets on the road, 11-5 for their latest win of the season. That puts the girls at 9-1, still rolling right along. They've got one district win, one district loss, and stand next to take on Paintsville tonight here at home. That first pitch was set for 5:30. I'm trying to juggle a couple of things and at least maybe get some video of one of them. I'm hoping one of them also will be the Lady Hornets game tonight as they're hosting Paintsville. This is the second time they faced Paintsville this year. That was their only loss, a 1-5 loss back on the 11th. So we'll see how tonight turns out for the Lady Hornets. As for the boys, they were on the road last night. They were at home last night. 0-6, the final score, a loss hosting Sheldon Clark. That drops the boys to a 4-12 season. They're also now still winless for the 57th district, and they're looking to get a win in the column tomorrow as they're hosting Floyd Central. That game's set for tomorrow night at 6 here at home for the boys. All right, we don't have any showers right now in the viewing area, and they've been all over Kentucky except for all of eastern for the most part, a lot of central Kentucky. We're going to get in on that action. It's going to make its way into the area, certainly by tomorrow. Yeah, no showers yet. It's been a really active day pretty much everywhere but eastern Kentucky. We're going to get in on that action soon enough with a 70% chance of showers tonight. Winds not that big of a deal for now, but tomorrow they will be significant. Cloudy skies the rest of the night, 70% chance of showers, low of 57. Tomorrow, that front knocks us down a notch or two. Daytime highs, mid-60s, I think, at best. There's going to be some clouds. There's going to be some showers tomorrow. 66 for your daytime high. And the winds will be coming out of the west-northwest, 7 to 10, maybe upwards of 20-mile-per-hour gusts at time. Look for rainfall amounts, maybe a quarter to a half an inch, unless you were to get in some of those thunderstorm areas, which could happen. Showers and possibly thunderstorms starting early tomorrow. Winds throughout much of the day and afternoon. Shower chances will go from a likelihood, a sure thing, basically tomorrow to some degree, to only a 10% chance by about 8 o'clock or so tomorrow night. So we'll see clearing conditions and a low of 43 for your Friday, but it's still not going to be that nice of a day. A lingering chance, only to the tune of about 10 to 20% of some showers on your Saturday. Clouds are going to be on the increase. I think 66, 67, maybe a light westerly wind 3 to 5 or so on your Saturday. I think a 10% chance of showers maybe after 5 o'clock or so, maybe 20% during the overnight. Not a great chance, just not a great day either. I think Saturday's going to be looking like right now in the latest update, clouds are going to be on the increase. Sunday's definitely going to be a keeper. 67 and partly sunny. Clear that night in 45. We'll slowly get back to the low to mid-70s on Monday with a 20% chance of showers. We're staring at 80 and partly sunny on your Tuesday. Wednesday, more sunshine, more temps near the 80s, and that might be a pattern that holds on through the rest of next week. And that's it. That's my time. We're going to wrap up this week already. Can you believe that? And I hope to have you with me when we do tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. Good night, and thanks for watching.